Hi, my name is Karen O'Connor. I'm a consultant speech and language therapist and director of the Child Development Centre. I have worked with children with complex communication needs for over 20 years now. Children with autism, Asperger's syndrome, which is the term we used to use, we don't use anymore. Children with dyspraxia, apraxia, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, children with global developmental delay, children with a whole variety of different challenges which have impacted on their communication skills. I know everything that can go wrong with children's language, but most importantly, I want to talk to you today about how to help everything to go right so that your child can achieve their greatest potential in terms of communication, speech, language and learning. I'd like to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm now a consultant speech and language therapist with over 20 years experience working with children with complex communication needs. However, when I started to work back in the 90s, I worked for the public health system. We, as speech and language therapists, worked really hard to help children achieve their true potential. But what I started to realise after a number of years working was that we were really helping one group of children, a small group of children, achieve their true potential. But there was another group there that I really felt weren't achieving their potential with the techniques that we were using. We were doing everything that we could, but we were very much using what we call a top-down approach. And I felt that we needed something more. So I decided to travel and see what other speech and language therapists, occupational therapists, psychologists and other child development experts were doing on a worldwide level, internationally, to see what techniques and approaches were they using to help children achieve their true potential. And when I returned from my travels after a number of years, I decided to put together my own approach, incorporating the best techniques that I had seen with the techniques that I was already using from a speech and language therapy perspective. I've developed an approach now based on this and have used this same approach and have fine-tuned it over the last number of years. That approach is called looking at the pieces of the jigsaw. Looking at all the pieces of your child's jigsaw, not just looking at the speech and language difficulties or challenges, but looking at their motor skills, looking at their attention, focus, comprehension, looking at how they are socially, looking at how they are from a learning point of view, and more importantly, probably looking at how they are from a sensory point of view. So looking at all the pieces of the jigsaw to see what's happening for your child. Because as we know within the brain, all these pieces are inextricably linked and we can't just look at speech and language difficulties or challenges in a vacuum. Because if we do, we're not seeing the full picture. We're not seeing how to truly understand and help children achieve their true potential communication-wise, but also the knock-on effect of the approach that I use, which is looking at the pieces of the jigsaw. The knock-on effect there is that you're not only developing your child's communication skills, whether that be their speech, their clarity, whether it be their comprehension, expressive language, whether it be how they're using language socially, but we're also impacting and developing their attention, focus, comprehension, their ability to socialise and interact and engage. And we're also developing not only their sensory skills, but also their learning in general. In a nutshell, for the first number of years of my career, I used speech and language therapy techniques only. And I saw what can be achieved by doing that. For the last 17 years of my career, I've combined the best of speech and language therapy techniques with up-to-the-minute neuroplasticity techniques, including sensory integrative techniques, including pioneering sound therapy techniques. And the results we're seeing are incredible. It's the difference between day and night. And in my experience over the last 20 years, and this is what I really want to share with you, is how to combine speech and language therapy techniques with up-to-the-minute sensory integrative and sound therapy techniques so that your child can achieve the results that we see here in the clinic every day. Children who are making changes in days rather than weeks, and weeks rather than months or years. The changes are incredible, but it's important to combine the techniques to see the greatest difference. So what I would really like to share with you over a series of videos that I have created and over my experience over the last 20 years is how to truly help your child achieve their greatest potential communication-wise, using the techniques that I have learned and using the approach that I have developed, looking at the pieces of the jigsaw to help your child achieve their greatest potential. I look forward to sharing this information with you.